Hey folks, I'm back. It's been a while. I think last video was end of April, early May this year, and I've been busy and a little wipeout on my bike there, and did a body slam on the asphalt, so my shoulder was out of commission there for about 3 weeks. So I had to work on that. Did my own therapy at the gym and got that almost 100% fixed up. Still can't lay on it, but everything else is pretty good. But anyway, I didn't come here to talk about that, and you don't want to hear about that. We are in a heat wave here, so I was going to do this video on outside down by the river there, but it's pretty hazy out there with all the humidity, so the video quality wouldn't be the greatest. I thought, what the heck, I'll just do it in met a friend's place actually in the basement here, where it's quiet. And so yeah, if you remember our blog, www.restorethekingdomofgod.blogspot.com. There's a little blurbage up there. The guy that went into the traffic court and presented the birth certificate, not as evidence of his identity, but evidence of his interest. And he was there to release his interest for the settlement of any and all charges. And that matter was done. Finished. No argument. That's not always going to fly. Well, the same guy had a situation recently, started about a little over a year ago with the Canada Revenue Agency. And that's what I'm going to talk about here because that matter has been resolved. $63,000 plus claim, done, gone by, finished. And something I want to add here is, if you're doing paperwork process, whether it be notice of rescission or any other paperwork process, come from the viewpoint or the foundation that I am free. I'm doing this paperwork to let others know that I'm free, rather than doing the paperwork to be free. It's kind of silly when you think about it. But yeah, so if you want more information too, you go to that same blog, www.restorethekingdomofgod.blogspot.com. In the upper right-hand corner there, there's little buttons there you can push. It says, additional information, ancient system of pledging, that sort of stuff. All of those will take you to additional information, or you can click on the more button under this video here and get access to the same information if you're interested. Up to you. So anyhow, this fella, who had like I say, the success in the traffic court, and just recently with the Canada Revenue Agency, and I'll show you the final communication he got from the Canada Revenue Agency. I'll post it at the end of this video so you can see it. I'm not going to show everything that he sent, all the communications back and forth, because people are just going to copy it. And there's a lot of people be like throwing snot balls at the wall, and it's just going to make it more difficult and for people who do put the time into it. So, this fellow listened to everything I said, and this is like, if you haven't done so, watch all the videos in our rescission playlist on our YouTube channel. I think there's about 28 videos there. This one will be the 29th. So you get the full context. So he went through all of that, listened to all of that, and he does have an information package, by the way. So he listened to all that and put together his communication based on all the different things we talked about in there, and which started with the notice of rescission and then follow up, like I say. So basically what happened there, he got a notice of a claim about a year ago, approximately, from the Canada Revenue Agency for $62,000 plus. So he sent a notice of rescission to that office, to the agent for the Canada Revenue Agency, and this should work for any tax department around the planet because it's all the same. And here's another thing too I should throw in there is that we have a lot of people on our Zoom meetings, our Reclaiming Securities Zoom meetings, which we talk about rescission as well. Have confirmation from pretty well every country that these people are from has had confirmation that the birth certificate is not evidence of their identity. So some people know, other people don't know, and other people can play dumb. But there's one office that does know. And I've shared that office, but I'm not going to say what it is because then people are just going to bombard that office. But if you listen to the things I say, you can deduce it yourself. Oh, I get it. So if it doesn't work over here, then I got to go over there. But you got to give them a chance. So he gave the Canada Revenue Agency guy a chance. Well, he sent that notice of rescission to the Canada Revenue agent, and about a month after that, he got another letter from the same agent. Now it's in the form of demand to pay. So then he took that demand to pay and sent it over with some other additional information to an office, another office, a different office, which I call going through the back door, brought it to their attention that this guy, but based on the CRA agent's actions, there was an attempt to intimidate or to coerce this fella to identify himself by the birth certificate or as the registered name John Paul Smith, which of course we're not going to go there when we know the truth. So he included that little bit of information and some other information to that backdoor office, and that backdoor office communicated with the agent there or the Canada Revenue Agency. We don't know who or what exactly, but And approximately 10, 11 months later, just, again, I'll post that communication. I think it was last month, June 2026. This matter is resolved. Done, finished. Bye-bye. Now, if people are thinking that, well, where's the statement that shows zero amount owing? And you're not understanding, you're not the taxpayer. If you're not the taxpayer and they know you're not the taxpayer, you're not going to get any of that stuff. That's for taxpayers. Keep that in mind. So it's perfect. His communication was beautiful. The whole process he did was perfect, exactly how I would do it. And the main thing is it culminated in, like I say, you got a letter from the Canada Revenue Agency. This matter is resolved. Done, finished. No statements, no bills, no nothing like that. And I've shared a previous story where a guy was having an audit from the Canada Revenue Agency. It was a few years back. Got the agents who were there at his house doing the audit that this, with respect to the birth certificate name on it, that this is Her Majesty's business, and they agreed. So he said, well, then you do the books. See, this is why we don't do the books. If you're a taxpayer, you got to do the books. But if you're not a taxpayer, you don't do that nonsense. Furthermore, the birth certificate is evidence of the holder's lien against the straw man, i.e. John Paul Smith, whatever the name is on the birth certificate and all those accounts out there. Or it could be John Paul Smith operating as John Smith. And I doubt the government will accept liability for John Paul Smith if I hold a lien claim, meaning I have a claim, I'm holding a claim, it's the interest, a claim to the money or the money's worth. So the benefactor, keep in mind the benefactor stuff here we talked about previously as well, the benefactor is the grantor, the one who provides the energy, the labor, 100% of the value. But the same benefactor / grantor also holds a lien claim against John Paul Smith. So you're actually holding a claim to 100% of the money your money's worth. Can you not perceive there's a little bit of a problem here? I shared previously what a lawyer said to a friend. We know you do not own the home, but who gets the money? Everyone wants the money. I'd want the property. And selfishness comes into play here, which is, we ought to know, the root of all evil. So here's another kicker. Unless I demonstrate that I gave a right, there is no duty. So on the one hand, you're the grantor. You've provided 100% of the value to John Paul Smith, that registered name. And on paper, you get nothing in return. But on the other end, you also got a lien claim against that same entity. So point being is you haven't granted anything. So I suggest that the claim to the money is the problem, why you have a target on your back, and what holds everyone in bondage. In other words, you may be the grantor, but you're also the secure party in the sense that the birth certificate is evidence of your lien against the straw man, i.e. John Paul Smith. So in that sense, you've granted nothing. You have not given anything in the way of a right, so there is no duty. Think about it. And if you haven't done so, I'd recommend that you, and this is all in the rescission playlist, I strongly recommend that you watch all the videos in our rescission playlist on our YouTube channel. I think there's 28 videos there. This will be the 29th. Be sure to watch the video there. All of them, I'd watch all of them, but in particular, unless you demonstrate you gave a right, there is no duty / the birth certificate is evidence of their duty. And the holder of a birth certificate, there's another video, the holder of the birth certificate enjoys a presumption of a perfected lien. So what if, I know it to be the case, but what if that birth certificate, as long as you have that and haven't done something with that lien claim, you're the one that has the claim to the money or the money's worth. Yeah, it's not your name on there. You're not on the accounts or anything like that, but you're holding the document that is evidence of your lien claim against the John Paul Smith, the registered name, that person. So, and that's why I say you haven't granted anything. So the question becomes, and what to do with that lien claim that you hold? And again, the lien claim is a claim to the money or the money's worth. And I get it. Money's debt. It's not money. It's blah, blah, blah. But in the legal system, they all know it is money. So we're using the language, and I'm using the language they know and understand. They all know it is money. Okay, that's the money, or legal tender, whatever. Same thing. And also I want to add here too that if people start posting, I'm going to have the comments turned on in this video, and if people post comments what they think people have to do to so-called be free, I will remove those comments. If you have your concepts of how you think, what you think people should be doing here, start your own YouTube channel and educate through there. You're not going to do it on our channel here. So if you do that, start posting stuff here that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, or your own concepts of what people have to do, I will delete your comments. It's just creating confusion. It's not the place. Get your own channel. So just a quick review. The fella got a notice of a claim from Canada Revenue Agency. He sent over a notice of rescission. And a notice of rescission, by the way, can be a paragraph. It's not complicated to understand the concepts of what we're doing here, the principles. So he did that. About a month later, he got another communication from the agent at the Canada Revenue Agency. This time it's in the form of a demand. So he said, okay, the guy's not hearing me. No problem. So he took what he had done and sent that information plus a little bit of additional information over to another office, the experts. I call that the back door. Let them know what was going on, that he brought this to this agent's attention over here and he ignored it. Not only that, it started to look like he's trying to coerce our friend here to identify himself via the birth certificate, via the name on the certificate, which is not what it is. So be mindful of that. So that's why he said, okay, so he went to that backdoor office. That backdoor office communicated over to the Canada Revenue Agency, and he got a letter, just like I say, the end last month, from the Canada Revenue Agency saying this matter is resolved. And I will post that particular letter at the end of this video. It's been sanitized as far as who sent it. Done. Not complicated at all. Real simple. And I'd love to show you all exactly what he did there, but here's the thing. There's lots of people out there that don't know what they're doing. They're going to start throwing snotballs at the wall and make it harder for people that are legitimate, that are doing the studies, and take the time to listen to the things that are said and formulate a communication in their own words. Because you're the one that has to speak to it, to answer to it. So again, no success over here. Just getting resistance. Sent over to this office here what was going on over there. And they communicated to the Canada Revenue Agency, and the matter is resolved. And that was a $63,000 debt. Doesn't matter. The amount makes no difference. Doesn't matter. And again, he's not the taxpayer, so he doesn't get a statement saying, the amount owing is zero. That's for taxpayers. We will be talking about exactly this the next Zoom meeting, which will be coming up in August next month. So again, if you want to partake in that, it's your choice. There's lots of information in our videos and the rescission here. You can formulate something on your own, but if you need assistance and get our information package, it's up to you. Gain information down below how to access that, or go to our blog, restoretheKingdomofGod.blogspot.com. Upper right-hand corner of that page, you'll see little links there you can click on and get access to the same information and how to contact us if you want to contact us. Another key thing here to stress is, and I see it all the time, and I've shared it in previous where people were, trying to get the courts to accept stuff in different offices to accept things, and it wasn't flying. And when one particular fella, or one guy in particular, who I shared numerous occasions, did exactly that. When that wasn't going anywhere, then he contacted that what I call the backdoor office, and that's when he had his marijuana property returned to him in court. This is long before they were talking about legalizing marijuana, and he got returned his property in court. Why did they do that? Because they never had the authority to take it in the first place. We're talking marijuana, which at them days was an illegal substance. So it's really not a complicated process. Notice rescission over here. If they ignore it, then let this office over here know that what you did. You always got to give these guys, whoever the claimant, an opportunity to do the right thing, what you believe to be the right thing. And if they don't do it, then you go to the back, what I call the backdoor office. Again, I'm not going to give all that information here in these videos because people are just going to go off half-cocked. There's going to be bombarding offices. Been there, done that. They're going to get hundreds of letters, thousands of letters from people thinking they know what to do, and maybe they do. I don't know, but I'm not going to go there. Not here in the public forum like this. But that's the key part to this whole thing. You see, there's a lot of ignorance out there, but there's one office that knows the truth of all of this stuff. Hands down. I'm not saying the other ones don't, but they can play stupid. And furthermore, it's one thing for them to get a phone call or letter of communication like this Canada Revenue Agency situation from the experts saying, hey, it's not evidence of his identity, rather than you saying it, if you follow what I'm coming from here. And of course, the point of the notice of rescission, which we talked about here at length on these rescission videos, is to undo what you've done to return you to your previous status before you did what you did and signed and made application and signed in a mere signature, making it look like you're the taxpayer, you're the driver, you're the permitted, the licensee, all that sort of stuff. Just to undo that, to get back to your status so that now you're the benefactor / grantor, the one that provides 100% of the value. And then that lien claim, that's important. Now, what do we do with that? What do you do with that? What do you do with the claim to the money's worth? That's the ticket. And like I say, people from all over the planet, or a big chunk of it, have communicated with different governments, and now they all get the same thing. The birth certificate's not evidence of your identity, so certain places know the truth of that. Those are your allies. Get what I'm saying here? Not complicated, people. And do come from that foundation that I am free. I'm doing this paperwork to let others, whoever needs to know that I am free. Not doing the paperwork here to be free. I think that's the wrong approach. That's it. Let a God never fails, not possible. Love you. Thanks for listening. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And if you know anybody that this might help, then by all means, pass it on, share it with them, and they can get some monkey off their back. Till next time. One more significant thing I should say here. This procedure that this gentleman used to get this tax liability off his back is not limited to tax liabilities only. It's right across the board. You're not John Paul Smith. You're not the person named on the accounts, any of that stuff. You're not the debtor. You're not the taxpayer. You're not the driver. None of that. Not the charged party. Not a contracting party. None of that. So it's not limited to, again, this procedure is not limited to tax liability only. I'm done. Till next time. Ciao.